Well, hello there. I'm Jeff Ellison, host of The Story of Us, From Cosmic Dawn to the Depths of Being. And today I find myself in Nashville, Tennessee, crossing paths with one of the influences of my life, the one, the only, the legendary Jay Shetty. Today's a special day, my friends. Years ago, I read a book that changed the course of my inner journey. It was Jay's book, Think Like a Monk. And it wasn't just the words on the page, it was really a spark, one that lit a fire inside me. It sent me on the path towards deeper reflection, towards service and stillness in my life. That spark eventually became this podcast right here, this ongoing exploration of who we are, where we came from, and what it means to be fully human and alive in this vast and mysterious universe. For those who may not know Jay's story, it's pretty cool. He was born in London, studied at Case Business School, and in his early 20s made an extraordinary choice. He left behind the noise of our modern world to live as a monk in India. He immersed himself in that life of simplicity and service. He learned the ancient wisdom of mindfulness, purpose, and deep compassion for others. When he returned to the West, Jay carried those teachings into a new world, becoming a best-selling author, the host of On Purpose, one of the most listened to podcasts in the world, and a global voice for transforming mindfulness into modern living. Today, Jay's message of purpose and peace reaches millions of people across the globe, and I get to meet him. With over 17 million followers on Instagram and nearly 30 million followers on Facebook, I think that's a testament to how deeply his work resonates with our collective longing for meaning and true human connection. Jay spent his life helping people bridge the ancient and the modern, reminding us that we don't have to live in a monastery to live a life with mindfulness, true meaning, and love. His voice helped guide me from the outer noise towards inner perspective. And I couldn't be more grateful for the chance to get to meet him in person today. So I only get a few minutes with him. I'm going to see if he'll let me ask him one question. So it only feels right to bring you guys along on this journey, my listeners and my fellow travelers, along for this moment. Let's step together into the meeting of two paths, hearts and ideas. Here's my brief encounter with the one, the only, the legendary Jay Shetty. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Great.
Yeah. I would be really grateful
Yeah.
if you would give me 20 extra seconds. I have one question I want to ask you.
Go for it.
Is that cool?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
look, I even have my microphone.
Of course.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, Jay, thanks for spending a few seconds with me today. I know how busy you are. I'm here today representing Commonwealth Pain and Spine. We're one of the nation's largest chronic pain management practices, and for the last 13 years, our mission has been to help alleviate human suffering as it relates to chronic pain conditions. I read your book years ago. It sparked a fire in me that sent me on this journey to looking deeper into Buddhist tenets. It sent me to people like Thich Nhat Hanh. It's been a real inspiration in my life. My question for you is, one of the tenets that I've learned of Buddhism is that all humans, no matter where we are, who we are, where we come from, we all suffer. So for those people that are listening, my 20 dedicated podcast listeners on The Story of Us, could you share one thing that would be really helpful to those people, whether they're suffering emotionally or mentally, as it relates to chronic pain or anything else that could really help maybe spark that fire in them for us?
Well, first of all, I just want to say I imagine that what you're going through is extremely difficult, and to validate that, because I think no one knows the battle you're fighting until you're fighting it. The insight or advice I'd give is whatever you're going
Yeah. Yeah. Folks, if you're wondering why the entire second half of my conversation with Jay Shetty looks like a deep exploration of hotel carpet fibers, That's because it literally was. Okay, so my trusty camera person had a minor mishap mid-interview and decided to film the floor instead of maybe one of the most influential humans that I've ever met. And then, you saw it, they just bailed completely. Poof. Gone. Just like that. But I'm smiling about it. I think that's just a cosmic reminder that even the universe enjoys a good practical joke every now and then. But here's the thing. I wouldn't change a moment of it. Because failure, or I think what we often perceive to be as failure, or sometimes straight up looks like totally eating shit in front of an entire room of people on the World Wide Web, I think those failures are just another teacher in disguise. The truth is, I believe we only really fail when we stop listening to our inner voice, when we stop taking the shot. I think sometimes if we're really trying to grow as a person, we'll sometimes reach for the stars and find ourselves face down in a pile of mud. But even then, we've stretched ourselves. We've gotten a little closer to our truth or to our light. It's fun to laugh about it now. You know what? I got to tell you, Jay Shetty was incredible. He was open. He was kind. He was curious. He took the time to listen to my question and give me a really thoughtful response. He's everything that I hoped he'd be. So Jay, if you're out there listening to the story of us in all your spare time, I want you to know I'm deeply grateful for the time you gave me, for the wisdom that you shared with me, and then probably most importantly for lighting that tiny spark in my life that we talked about that was so meaningful for me. I hope, maybe, Jay will make another guest appearance in the story of my life sooner rather than later. Or, maybe I just crashed and burned during my one shining moment. I guess it's too soon to tell. But here's the thing, I promise. My family, myself, those of you guys listening, I'm going to keep swinging for the fences. Because that's my journey. And my journey has been and remains all about daring to dream big. Daring to sometimes, or arguably often, fall on my face and look like a total ass. But I'm going to do that all the while daring most to feel truly alive and part of the great fabric of life. That's the story of us. The story of us isn't about striving for perfection. I think it's about, as humans, just being persistent. And about finding meaning in these small or even perceived to be big moments of our lives that don't go quite as we anticipated that they were going to. So we're going to laugh about it. I'm over it. I learned my lesson. And maybe we'll do better next time. But until next time, friends, here's my challenge to you. Man, keep reaching. Keep wondering. Be curious. And keep writing your story. And I guess I would say too, if your camera fails on you, just remember sometimes the best parts of life happen off screen. Peace be with you.